Baghdad, Russia's ally in its fight against ISIS, wants Russia to have a bigger role in the anti-terrorist campaign in Iraq than the U.S. and may soon officially request to start airstrikes on its soil, the chairman of Iraqi Parliament's Defense Committee said. "We might be forced to ask Russia to launch airstrikes in Iraq soon. I think in the upcoming few days or weeks, Iraq will be forced to ask Russia to launch airstrikes, and that depends on their success in Syria," said Hakim al-Zamili, Reuters reported. "We are seeking to see Russia have a bigger role in Iraq. Yes, definitely a bigger role than the Americans," Zamili said. The popular Iraqi Satellite TV channel AnwarTV2 has conducted an extensive poll to find out what people think about Russian military participation in the war against ISIL in Iraq. The poll shows that people claim that Russia get involved in Iraq. 90% of those asked want Russian participation. Only 8% did not want Russian participation, while 2% had no opinion. Additionally, AnwarTV2 Satellite TV conducted several interviews in the major Iraqi cities like Baghdad, Basra, Kut and Karbala. These TV interviews gave a strong support to Russia in the fight against terrorists in Syria. Russia last week started carrying out airstrikes in Syria against the positions of Islamic State, a terrorist group originating in Iraq, which also grew a power base in neighboring Syria and launched a surprise offensive in Iraq, taking control of large parts of both countries. Iraq is supporting the campaign by sharing intelligence with Russia through a communications center in Baghdad. Iran and Syria are also part of the center. According to Zamili, the center's role may be expanded to coordinate Russia's future airstrikes in Iraq. Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi told France 24 on Tuesday that his government would welcome Russian warplanes in Iraq. Last week, U.S. Ambassador to NATO, Douglas Lute, voiced concerns about the possible deployment of Russian warplanes to Iraq, claiming it could complicate the situation. U.S. fears that Russia will support al-Shaabi, Iraqi volunteer forces, in Iraq in the fight against ISIL. Al-Shaabi has in recent months released several cities and lands from ISIL, like Jerf al-Sakhar, Amirli, Diyala, Tikrit, and half of Beji. The U.S. has repeatedly tried to undermine and thwart al-Shaabi by delaying dates and times, weapons delivery to Iraqi government, for fear that these weapons could fall into the hands of al-Shaabi. Iran, from its side, managed to deliver weapons to the Iraqi authorities, which further ensured that Iraqi volunteer forces managed to win the battlefield against ISIL. Precisely, this has worried the United States.